NBA postseason, baby. The conference quarterfinals have started, and they are 4 intriguing matchups with all special stories with them. Whether you're going with Heat and the Knicks, the Warriors and the Lakers, the Suns and the Nuggets, and the Celtics and the Sixers. Intriguing matchups that we're going to enjoy every single second of and have deep analysis. So let's kick it off. The productive NBA crew's here with some new faces and old faces. And let us kick off this awesome preview show regarding the quarterfinals. Alex Young's here for the first time in the NBA. Alex, great to see you again.
Great to see you. Happy to be here talking some NBA basketball. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Bars the God joining us for the first time in a while. It's great to see you again.
It was great to be back. It's great to see you again, Matt. Bach, it's good to see you again. Be back on the podcast. Alex, Hayden. It's nice to have some fresh faces.
Yeah, good stuff.
Not the Alex I'm used to, but, Alex still, nonetheless.
And speaking of fresh faces, we have fresh faces. Fresh faces, what's going on?
That's good. I'm glad my 911 got canceled, so I had to come back. Because as soon as I was going there, I was like, I'm not going to make it.
Well, we appreciate it too, and it's going to be great having you. And then we have Hayden Nadler joining us. Great to see you again, Hayden.
Hello.
Check out me and Hayden's talk at his podcast, the Set of the Score podcast, on Spotify right now.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. The NBA postseason is already 10 times better than it was last season. And as I mentioned, 4 intriguing matchups. They have started already, and we're going to get into it right here, right now, and check us out in the various weeks to come as we cover the postseason. So let us start with the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. At this moment, the 5th-seeded New York Knicks, the 8th-seeded Miami Heat. Miami is officially up 1-0 after defeating the Knicks in Madison Square Garden on Sunday afternoon. They won by a score of 108-101. And it seems we have one storyline with the Knicks having as much momentum as they could. Very hot team, even though sometimes they can barely score 3. Playing defense and having a lot of fun. Then they go up against, and after defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers, things were looking their way. That we have the Miami Heat, an 8th seed, a team that was in the play-in tournament and somehow snuck their way to defeat the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. And now we're here with this intriguing matchup, even with the various injury problems, including one that we'll obviously talk about in game 1. There's a lot to discuss with these 2 matchups. So obviously the elephant in the room right here, right now, which sets the tone for the series, is the health of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler rolls his ankle in the 4th quarter of game 1. He does come back, but he obviously wasn't the playoff Jimmy we're used to seeing. At this moment of this recording, he is questionable to return for game 2, and we'll see ultimately if he makes his full comeback. This on top of losing Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo. Miami Heat has some scrambling to do, but if you're under the realm of Eric Spoelstra, it seems anything's possible for the Heat. But the big question to start off this series, if Jimmy Butler is not there, is this going to be an easy road for the Knicks to win the series?
Absolutely not. I do not think it's going to be an easy series, even without Jimmy Butler. They still have Kevin Love. They still have Bam Adebayo. The Knicks right now are missing Julius Randle, who's really one of their top
potentially Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson is questionable for game 2
Jalen
with a sore ankle.
Too. So the Knicks have a lot of injury concerns as well. And I'm just worried that the fact that Knicks don't really have that one killer guy, one key closer in the game when the game is close to really take over the game. If you're going to be messing Brunson and Randle, it's going to be a battle of the benches between the Heat and the Knicks. Like I said, the Heat still have Bam Adebayo. They still have Kevin Love, who still can.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, they still got a lot of great players.
The Knicks.
It's going to be a tough series to determine. I think it's going to go 7, even with the injuries.
I don't think it's going 7. I think it's going to depend on whose stars are actually available. But it's also like, if the Knicks win, they're that Atlanta Hawks team that made it to the conference finals a couple years ago. Like, you shouldn't be there. You don't really deserve to be there. You kind of like suck your way in. Don't do what they did and go all in when you're really not that guy, because they're not that guy. They got lucky that like Cleveland shit the bed in like every possible way. They got one good game out of Donovan Mitchell. They got one good game out of Darius Garland. Jared Allen, like when Jared Allen got bodied by Embiid a couple years ago, that's different. But when you're getting bodied by Mitchell Robinson, who has the range of a dunk, and half the time he misses that, like that's unacceptable. And Evan Mobley's like a child. He's like 12, so he'll get better. But they have like Cavs have flaws. This Knicks team, like, okay, now it's like if Brunson's not going, this is RJ's moment. Like he's played much better than he started that Cleveland series. Like he was bad to start that Cleveland series.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's RJ's moment. And also like it should be mentioned, and I know we were talking about this in our chat, like if they lose this series by a game, you should fire Tibbs for not running any plays at Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler could not walk for 12 straight possessions.
Yep.
That's Mike Budenholzer level dumb shit. Like you can't be the guy. Literally any one of us could have done better defense than Jimmy Butler at that point because we could simply walk.
Yeah.
Like that you cannot, and the fact that even like none of the players realized, oh wait, he can't move. That's like you can't throw a game like that.
And I'm agree. I'm gonna double down with Batch and with Bach and Hayden. Nah, this ain't going to 7. Like this ain't going to 7. You couldn't.
You really
you
don't
couldn't.
think it's going to 7? Who do you think then? What do you have? 5 or 6?
I see the Heat taking this in 6.
Ooh, okay.
That's me being generous to the Knicks. No offense, Matt, but like
I'm an Knicks fan too, by the way.
Brunson dogging.
Yes.
Brunson dogging. So if he's playing, I'm gonna give y'all 2 games. Facts.
Well, you got to see if RJ Barrett can step up. If RJ
Yeah.
Barrett's really that
It's
player
also depending how many games Jimmy plays. Like
that he's supposed to.
That is
It's
literally
Jimmy too.
fact.
Yeah.
I can see Jimmy missing game 2. Rolled ankle. You need some
I
time
would
to
sit in game
recuperate
2.
that.
I would sit in game
Right?
2.
I would sit,
game
I
3
would
wouldn't
de-
be till Saturday. There's a lot of time.
There's a
in
lot of time to
between.
rest between.
And I'm
them.
and I'm definitely sitting Jimmy then. I'm definitely sitting
Especially
Jimmy for
if Jalen's
to
not
take a
playing, I'm
loss.
sitting Jimmy 100%. He's
Here's
going
a-
home to Miami.
Here's
Hell
a
yeah.
big question.
Hell yeah.
What do you think is a bigger loss? Them not having Jimmy Butler or the Knicks not having Randall and Brunson?
It's Jimmy
Oh.
Butler.
Jimmy
It's
Butler
Jimmy
all
Butler.
the way.
It's
Jimmy
could
Butler's
arguably
averaging
say that-
37 points.
No, you could arguably say Jalen Brunson and Randall were more important to the Knicks than.
Well,
Jalen.
if Jalen's out, if it's Julius or Jimmy, then it's easily Jimmy. If both Jalen and Julius are out, then that's a different argument.
Yeah,
I lean
because
to Jalen and Julius.
It's like Miami only has 2 guys who can like really give you it, and it's
Yeah.
Jimmy and Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero's already gone.
And we're
so if they
down
lost
one of those
Jimmy,
guys.
right? Like you don't have that guy. Okay, at like this point, we're waiting. Look, it's going to be my bet is if Julius Randle and Brunson don't play, we're going to see like a 2015 Kevin Love game where he goes for like 35 and 17 because that's their option. Like that's it. It's the
or
same way that
Lowry
Milwaukee.
game.
Huh?
I said
It's
or
a-
throwback Lowry game.
Oh,
You're probably getting the Lowry game, but they're going to run it through
Yeah.
Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Listen, Victor Oladipo going down low key was serious because now that Jimmy rolled his ankle, Victor Oladipo would have stepped into some of that playing time. Victor Oladipo may not be half the player he was before, but he can still get you scores. And defensively, he's a solid fucking player. You gotta love that. Now, I have an idea as to get Jimmy back on the court ASAP. Rachel Nichols, where you at, baby? Like, I need you
Was she
to
working
fix
for
my man.
Showtime?
I need you to fix, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I need you to fix my man's ankle up real nice and tight. But honestly, if you ask me, I think Jimmy Butler is more of the missed player in this situation. Jimmy Butler's averaging 37 points in the postseason. 37 points. With a rolled ankle, he still managed to get a double-double. With a rolled ankle.
Okay,
So
but
for
like-
12, go ahead.
But like he had done that like already. Like he didn't do anything after his ankle.
Yeah,
like, I think
he had
talked
one.
about
He had 1 3 attempt after the rolled ankle, and it was nearly an air ball. It was off
Yeah,
one
like-
leg.
Like it wasn't like he did anything spectacular
yeah.
off of one ankle.
Exactly,
like
yeah.
they just kind of batted.
He's hitting the corner. He hit in the
Yeah,
corner
he
for the last
literally
5
hit in
minutes
the
of the
corner.
game.
Listen,
Oh.
for New York, Jalen Brunson right now is the guy that they wanted RJ Barrett to be. I feel that. Right now, without Baby Jordan, I see y'all taking 1 game. Right now, without Baby
And I
Jordan.
got to tell you, man, Gabe Vincent was hitting 3 after 3 in that game.
He had
Oh,
5 threes, and that the fourth quarter one was ridiculous. And I give
Listen,
Gabe Vincent credit for that.
Gabe
I'm-
Vincent was hitting everything. Right
I'm
now.
mad. You listen, Gabe Vincent is one of those hot and cold players, but because he's such a solid role player, I'm not gonna be mad when he doesn't have like 15 points a night. Not gonna be mad. but if he could contribute at least like I don't know 8 to 10 points, a few assists, then Gabe Vincent is looking worth his weight in gold. But like at the same time, like Tyler Hero
Maybe
being
Duncan
missed right
Robinson.
now. Say that again.
Scenes of Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
Oh,
you need
if I-
Duncan
you
to
know
step
what's
up.
interesting?
Like
If I could get
Duncan
a
needs to
fart-
step up this game.
If I could get a
two.
fart out of Duncan Robinson, I'd be happy.
You know what?
If I
You know what
could
I
get a
think is
fart out of him.
an interesting wrinkle. We may be seeing a little more like Villanova, Josh Hart. Like he's going to be running this shit. Like when
Oh,
he did back
yeah.
when he was.
Hmm.
That might be an interesting thing more than because I think I trust him a little bit more than I do Julius RJ Barrett.
So
Yeah.
do I.
So does
What's
Stiz
interesting
with the
about
minutes
Josh
he
Hart
gives
is
him
he
too.
fits better in that.
And freaking Obi Toppin thinks he's like Ray Allen. He's taking every three. I'm like, dude, that's not.
Let's
Well,
not
they're,
talk
they're
about
giving it
That's
to
not
him,
your
and
Let's not talk about
I
Obi.
respect it, but he doesn't. He needs to
That's not your
use his
game.
athleticism. It's not his
If
game.
you found a
You
player
want
that felt his
to play
pants
in
too
last
much,
game.
it was Obi. Obi felt himself too much.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately.
He got too much into the MSG crowd when he hit those first few threes, and then after that he was just chucking. And it's like, all
Listen.
right, relax. You know,
And
attack the basket.
we can't act like Kevin Love has been a phantom in the playoffs.
He's been great.
He's been
been
listen.
Those
if
three
we-
passes, those three
Kevin
full
Love
court
fucking
passes
Cleveland.
changed the momentum of that
Yeah,
game.
that pass to
The
that pass to
three
him was
like
pretty
launches he had changed the complete. It sucked the air out of the building with those passes that he had.
Matt,
It's
you
Yeah, it's
mind
pretty
if we-
crazy they got him for nothing because Cleveland decided we just don't want him.
Yeah, and that was Cleveland made the biggest mistake letting Kevin Love. They would have loved to have him in that Knicks series.
Do you mind if
They would have loved to have him.
we touch on that Bucks series real quick?
Oh yeah, wait,
Yeah.
we do, but I have something just to close out the Heat stuff.
Go
while
ahead,
we're
go
done.
ahead, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I got some hot takes. I want to reiterate this first.
Let
I
him
said
know.
this, and you go back onto the pod. I said this the year the Bucks won the title. They still should have fired Mike Budenholzer. I said
Yes.
even if they win the title, they should have fired him.
agree.
And I agree with you.
Partly because what's his fake? Rick Carlson was on the market, and also because Mike Budenholzer is not a good coach.
Nah,
This is the
no
third
defensive
time.
changes.
This is the third time this has happened to them. The Kawhi did it to them. Jimmy did it to them in the bubble, and Jimmy did it again to him.
No bubble.
Where Giannis is like, why don't I guard him? Well, this year it didn't matter because Giannis missed 2.5 games, and then Jimmy didn't care at that point. But like this is the third time that this has happened to him. Like he doesn't. He
didn't change any assignments. That was the thing that bothered me.
Do you know why they
he was
give? Do
cooking
you know why they
Drew
give?
Holiday.
You know why they give Mike B some leeway? Because he won that one ring. That's why they give him some
Okay.
leeway.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, look, let's take a look though at like their players. Up 2-0, they lost to the Raptors because Kawhi checked Giannis, and they didn't do the same thing. They lost. I think they were up 2-0 to the Heat in the bubble, and they lost them that. They won the title. Chris Middleton was hurt. So in the last 5 years, they've had one excuse.
When Jimmy got
I mean,
Jimmy-
I don't disagree with you. I just don't think there's another coach that could do much better because they
Well,
have
Nick Nurse is on the market.
They have had the
There's-
most wins
there's
Nurse,
so
yeah,
many
Nick
coaches
Nurse
that
Nick
can
on the
do
Nurse
better.
is on the market.
So many coaches that can do better.
since 2018, 2019. They've had the most wins in the league. So it's like
Yeah, but like how much is
Because
that?
they have the best. They have
Regular
one of the
regular
best
season
athletic
success is
players
different from
these players.
in
postseason.
Giannis.
Yeah, but regular season success is different from postseason success. And just like I know I'm not trying to change the mood, but there was a report with Budenholzer. It's like an unfortunate thing. His brother passed away.
I
I don't know
saw
if you
that.
guys saw that.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, his brother passed away like right before game 3 or 4 in a
Yeah.
car accident. So I think they're letting him like grieve. I think this is the thing. Like everyone's like, why isn't he gone? I think they're letting him deal with that personal stuff soon. And I think the Bucks will have a meeting with him because I agree with what you guys all said. I think it's going to be a similar thing with the Raptors and Nick Nurse, where we know as great of a coach Nick Nurse is, they knew that their futures were on different wavelengths. I think the same thing is going to happen with.
Yes, but
with
how can you say
Budenholzer.
Nick Nurse is such a great coach when he didn't maximize the most out of Toronto?
Thank
They
you.
lost the
But
playoffs. They lost this year.
if you look at his system,
Thank
his
you.
system would be perfect with Giannis in the Bucks.
They're also
I think
super
they
weird.
don't have the. I think the Raptors have some solid young talent, but they're not as talented as the
But-
Bucks. I think
but
Nick
that's
Nurse
the
would
thing.
elevate that team. I
That's
wouldn't
the
think
thing.
he
Where
made the
would you-
mistakes Budenholzer made.
It's the system.
If you
It's the
were-
system that fits the player.
But I'm saying like I don't think Nick Nurse would have seen Jimmy Butler cooking Drew Holiday for 2.5 games and then come in and say, I want him to keep on
Yo,
guarding
Single
Jimmy
covering.
Butler.
at
Like, I
35
want him
points,
still on him.
at 35 points, I'm doubling Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
what
making
saying.
everyone
Like,
else fucking work.
I think Nick
I'm making
Nurse would be
everyone
like,
else fucking
Drew is
work.
our best defender, yes, but we need people to help. We need to figure out what defensive matchup works best on Jimmy Butler. The Knicks did the
y'all
same thing. The
did
Knicks
y'all
were
see
like,
that
okay,
spread?
Josh Hart, RJ will get reps. They were just switching to see who was the better defender. Drew Holiday was getting cooked, and Jimmy Butler had all the confidence in the world. So what is he going to do? I'm just going to beat the guy every single time because I can cook this dude. And
Like-
And it's
Budenholzer
not like-
didn't change anything up.
And you look at it,
Brook couldn't
Spoelstra
stop him.
doubled.
No one could stop
Spoelstra
him.
doubled. He doubled Brunson every time he got in the paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
Brunson
that's
was cooking
that's
early, and then he
like-
just started bombing at him with
like
getting
that's
looks.
that's something Budenholzer would never do.
Never do. Yeah, exactly.
Yo,
And also,
Jimmy
though,
had
like,
Jimmy had like 30 something in what? Like before the fourth quarter even started. I'm doubling Jimmy all
Yeah.
the way through the fourth
right,
quarter,
it's a
tripling
persistent
about
thing.
half.
Something.
But
Make
also
him
it
work.
comes down to like this does also come down to Giannis too. Like my man's was scared. Like they were scared at the end.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like,
Somebody
Man,
said
you
that
can't
shit.
blow a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter like that.
They had
Twice.
two meltdowns. They had
Twice.
two meltdowns in
Twice.
back-to-back games.
15 and then 16.
Yeah, and that's like you got like nobody's asking him to turn into Steph Curry, but you got to be able to hit like a 15-footer. And
Yeah, that's-
obviously he's not that guy who like is going to be, you know, I was hurt, but like I imagine similar to the Budenholzer thing, we're probably going to get some news about like, oh, Giannis was still hurt when he was playing.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
Giannis
think
is
about,
trying to get back
but we
right now.
also the thing with Giannis too is that he had a messed up knee and he dropped a 50 piece in a closeout game, one of the best final closeout performances we had. We know Giannis gave it his all. It was just again defensive lapses on Budenholzer and the Heat just taking all the momentum away in that fourth quarter, and there was nothing they could do about it. I mean, but again, it was weird that at some point I know Giannis was banged up with his back, but like I was shocked at some point he didn't disobey Budenholzer and just say like, Drew, go get this guy. I'm going to take Jimmy a few reps and we're just going to see what happens.
Let's remember that
But
first
it's way
Cleveland
more.
run with what's his face, the Israeli guy, where they were down
Blatt?
2-1 to the Bulls, and LeBron ran that play to hit the
Yeah.
game winner. Like he's like, yeah, I fucking said I'm gonna do it. Like just the Giannis has got to do that. So
Giannis has the power to do it. He could look at Budenholzer and be like, no, I'm doing this.
So this is actually really, I want to talk about this. Like this is not related to anything in the Bucks. I think this is just a very interesting point. If you're Miami and you don't win this year, how are you thinking about shopping Jimmy?
Oh wow, that's a good question.
I don't think you
I'm
do.
shopping Bam. I'm shopping Bam.
I think you're shopping Bam. I think Pat Riley needs to wake the F up and finally get some actual star. Decent
No,
players.
I think you're gonna get way more for Jimmy. If I'm,
Well, you'll get way more for Jimmy.
You're gonna get the most for Jimmy right now because his peak value is highest. After the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's why I'm thinking you call Denver and go, what do you want to give me all your young guys at like 4 picks? Because if I'm Denver, I want Jimmy. If I'm Philly, I want Jimmy.
Well, Philly, the first time that didn't work out because him and Embiid clashed.
Well, it was also him and Simmons, but I
It
think
was him and Simmons as well. Yeah. Or him and Simmons more clashed.
I think you at least consider. I think if somebody calls you and says, "Hey, or if like the Grizzlies call you, or the Pelicans call you, and they're like, we'll give you 4 first-rounders and like Brandon Ingram for Jimmy Butler."
I would be intrigued by it.
Yeah, like,
But
they're not going to say no to it.
No, I don't think you would say no to it. But I also think with this window, if Pat Riley
But if you're not winning this year, if you're not going to win this year, the league is going to stabilize more next year.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
this is
for
as wide
sure.
open as it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
For sure. It's not going
That's why I think you sell high.
There's no chance they're going to come back as an 8th seed again and do what they're doing right now.
And this is only because they played Milwaukee. Like, let's be clear about this.
Yeah.
We covered this when it was just me, Matt, and Hayden.
Yeah.
We said Miami is going to play Boston tough. They're not going to beat Boston.
Yeah.
And then Milwaukee would wipe out. Like, if Milwaukee played Atlanta, they would still
murder
them.
them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's a matchup thing.
That
like,
was
you're not
the,
going to get this.
the least favorite matchup that Milwaukee wanted because Miami always plays everyone tough and Milwaukee extremely tough. They don't like, back down from a challenge.
Grudge matches.
It's if I was Milwaukee and I was like, well, we just cruised, not cruised, but we had the most wins. We were one of the best teams in the East. And my first matchup was Miami. I would have been heated. I would have been pissed to be a Milwaukee Buck because they're a challenge. It's not Atlanta, where you can just breeze by these guys.
What do you think
and,
of
and
that?
Atlanta played
Boston a
tough.
series.
Atlanta
Maybe Boston
did get Boston a series, but that was again the heroics of Trae Young and Trae Young changing his
And
reputation.
it's different with Marcus Smart and
But, yeah. But-
like Drew Holiday. Like
For a 1-8 matchup, that's not easy. And we just saw what happened. I obviously Giannis hurt, but for a 1-8, the Heat are not an easy matchup. They're probably the toughest AC we've seen in a really long time.
well,
Yeah.
they're the
Simple as
toughest
that.
one probably since those Grizzlies teams, because that's the
Exactly.
last time.
And
The
they play the same
2011
style, grit
Grizzlies
and grind
teams was the
style.
last
Yeah.
time that.
No,
that an
the
18
Sixers,
like-
the Sixers beating the Bulls was the last.
No, but
Yeah.
that doesn't count. That was when Derrick Rose blew his knee.
Blues ace, yeah,
Yeah.
Blues, yeah.
That doesn't count. It's that 2011 fucking Grizzlies team that beat the
Yeah.
Spurs. Fuck that
Well,
team.
yeah, with Zach Randolph and all those.
Yeah, the grit and grind Grizzlies teams.
Yo,
Yeah.
I love the took we just ran off on, but I feel like I just took us onto a whole different tangent. But like, just to take us back to the Heat and Knicks, what do y'all think, right? Let's say Jimmy, and Jalen sit out game 2, right? Who do y'all think is winning game 2?
Miami.
I would think Miami.
I have the Knicks.
Right
I think
now,
the Knicks- I
right now
think
the
the
spread
Knicks
is minus
definitely
6.5
take
Knicks.
I think
mean,
the
like,
Knicks
Vegas
win.
doesn't
I'm
think
a
so.
Knicks fan, but like what Brunson brings, and if Randall's not still 100% in game 2, to not have him on the court.
I think Josh Hart and the boys will get it done.
I mean, we would need quickly to step up. And I
Quickly-
don't know what's
quickly,
happened to quickly
Grimes will play
from
well.
the regular season to the postseason. He has just cooled off. He needs to have a game. Maybe it's game 2. You know, usually when it matters most, but he knows he's stepping in a role, he always does extremely well. So maybe it's that. But
You
the
know,
Heat are
bright
gonna
lights.
be a challenge. The Heat are.
You know,
gonna
bright
be a
I think
lights
Mitchell
here and
Robinson's
there.
gonna have a big game on the boards.
Mitchell's been great on the boards, but like
Listen,
He was the
it's
key
tough-
in
it's
he was
tough to-
key in the whole Cleveland
Yeah,
series.
and from the reports of Jimmy, there's I think no way he plays game 2.
I would play.
From when they said he took his shoe off and it looked
They
like a
said his
baseball.
ankle is the size of a baseball. right now.
Baseball. So I
This is what I
like
need.
like
This is what I need. I
No, I
need
don't
Jimmy
think
to be
so.
rested. I need
Yeah.
Jimmy to be rested. I
You
need
got
Caleb
one.
Martin.
You split at home, and that's that. You split on the road.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You don't risk it
you
for the
keep
rest
you,
of the series.
you keep his ankle wrapped up, iced up, get him ready to go home. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
flight,
you have
it
the
might
home
it
court
might swell up a
advantage,
little
right?
bit, but keep
Even
it
if
down,
you lose
keep it
game
wrapped.
2, you have the home court advantage.
They-
Game 3,
They
you have
won.
him.
They
So
won
it
game 1.
makes sense if they were to say.
They won game 1 without the home court advantage. If they split on the road, like Box said, that's what you could ask for. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I think
Now,
that's
the reason-
that's a great takeaway for the Heat. If they split on the road, they go back
And
to Miami.
now, what I brought up the whole Milwaukee thing. I wanted to touch into the fact that if Caleb Martin has a game like that again,
He's so up and down.
it might be a little scary. The Heat has what I would like to call solid starting role players. You know what I'm saying? Like
They have a lot
Gabe
of
Vincent.
B plus.
Yeah,
guys.
they're
They don't have
BP
S.
plus players. Like
Yes.
they could
Gabe
be
Vincent.
A's on some nights.
Matt
A minuses.
Strus. You know what I'm saying? Like those
I just
guys
wanna
go
look-
off for crazy
Look,
games.
if you're throwing away game 2, I'm throwing Nikola Djokovic out there just
Yes.
because.
Yes.
Just fuck it. Just
Yeah.
let him cook.
Just get people who you need to see something out on the court.
Yeah.
Like I said we talked about Duncan before. Get Caleb, get Jokic, get whoever. Like
I'm
just
shopping. Yo,
see
listen.
what works.
I'm shopping Bam next. Like win or lose, I'm shopping Bam.
I mean, Bam is
Bam
lucky.
needs to step. Bam,
Bam
Like,
needs to
Bam
step
is
up.
lucky that
He
he is
steps
Jimmy
up.
because
He is lucky.
What happened?
he is lucky. He's lucky as Jimmy. We're in like year 5 of, hey man, at some point Bam is going to learn how to shoot and be aggressive, and he just never has.
And he always
He's
talks
so-
about he's defensive player of the year and he can guard all positions, but he hasn't
He's so
been in
passive.
the running for that.
He's so passive. I will say
he doesn't have to
he
be.
He did give Brooke a little work, but a little work is not work. You ain't cook that man. He needed to cook Brooke. Listen, Brooke is big, and you gotta, as someone who plays that position, you gotta take that shit. You gotta take his size and use it against him. You're more finesse, Bill. You gotta be pumping whatever you need to do to get them points. Bam during the regular season is an animal. During the playoffs, he's been a wet
He's like
nap.
the perfect third. He's the perfect third player on the team.
Yeah.
Then that's the problem.
But he needs to be the 2 right now. Like you don't have
Right.
Kyle Lowry be your number 2.
You don't
need
have
him-
you don't
need
have
Bam to
Tyler
be your number
Hero
2.
to be your number 2.
Exactly. So like I said, we're talking about Bam. It's like the Knicks have Julius Randle and it's great. They have Julius Randle because he can space the floor. Like Bam, we know has a decent mid-range game, and yet he like hasn't used that to his advantage. Like it's like very weird. He's just very passive. That he can get him the ball in his spots, and we'll see in game 2 what happens. That's the game we all need to be watching and see if he steps up. but it is weird that he's just so passive when we know he has a great mid-range game. He's good in the post. He's good on the inside, but he just defers to Jimmy too much when at times he just needs to take advantage of the matchup he has in front of him.
And he be soft with his takes. Soft with his takes. Get up there. Get
fouled. Attack the basket. You're a big guy. Get fouled. Get fouled. You're a good free throw shooter. Get fouled.
The NBA's gotten real fucking soft. The NBA's gotten real fucking soft. And somebody's got to say that
Robinson in foul trouble. Like,
do that.
I can't imagine he's gonna suddenly remember to not foul people for 2 straight playoff series. What the fuck is the possibility of that?
That was the thing that bothered me also with like the Knicks not attacking Jimmy Butler. He's on one leg.
Officiating was awful.
Attack him. Well, that too.
My God.
But attack Jimmy. Even if you attack Jimmy or like whatever, you get past Jimmy. Whoever is like playing help and scrambling might foul you because they're scrambling to help Jimmy. So like that's why it bothered me late in the game with the Knicks, where I'm like, why is no one attacking? Because you can probably draw easy fouls because someone's gonna have to play help defense for Jimmy and either hit you or whatever. They make a great defensive play, they make a great defensive play, but at least put the pressure on them. Like if Bam could do the same thing, he's athletic enough to beat his defenders. He can attack the basket hard, but he's just been passive. Or when he goes, he just doesn't. He's trying to look for the fouls instead of just trying to finish through contact. It's just very interesting for me to see.
Listen, I love Miami, but y'all need to look at that spread one more time, right? In that game where Jimmy scored 56, ain't nobody else had like, I think one person was in the 20s. Other than that,
I'll look right now. I'll try the box score for that game.
Other than that, I know Caleb Martin had like 16 or some shit like that. Listen, that was light. If Jimmy's not playing game 2, they better pray to God Brunson is not playing game 2 either, because RJ Barrett can cook, but RJ Barrett ain't gonna be the sole heart of the Knicks to sit us down. Like other than that though, like we got Max Strus, Caleb Martin. We don't got top tier names, and we got Bam on the court. Bam gonna have to step up. Postseason Bam is soft, paper mache.
Yeah, we'll ultimately see who takes care of it in this war of attrition. Last point here before we move on.
Just real quick, just to clarify the stats, only one other person or 2 people scored 10 or more points on Jimmy Butler in game 4 in that 56-point game. Bam Adebayo had 15 and Caleb Martin had 12. Yeah. Gabe Vincent had 10. Everyone else was in single digits or didn't score. Just to put a quick thing in there. No one scored over 20 other than Jimmy Butler.
So I'm giving Miami an L for game 2. I love them, but I'm giving them an L for game 2.
I'm taking the Knicks in game 2 as well. At home.
I'm taking the Knicks as well.
I hope the Knicks get the
win. I knew you'd
like
that.
Get the win.
Like that, man.
I'm a Knicks fan. I know I said before I have the Heat, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give the Knicks a running shot here. I think Jalen Brunson is gonna play. If he plays, it should be a wrap. Knicks should get hopefully an easy win in game 2.
It's a crucial matchup. It really, really is. So why don't we move on to this matchup? Los Angeles Lakers are going up against the Golden State Warriors. We have the reigning champions versus a team that pretty much took a 180 on their roster during the offseason and are making a run for it. They knock out the Grizzlies, Warriors knock out the Kings. Entertaining series throughout. And let us start this matchup and let us talk about the big headline underneath. Steph Curry versus LeBron James, a whole new chapter. This time the Warriors versus the Lakers. So talk to me about Lakers and Warriors right now. Who do you think is going to win this series ultimately? And then we'll talk about the LeBron versus Steph argument. And also for game 1, the spread at this moment is -4.5 for Golden State. They're playing at home.
Okay. I guess let me give you this. Right?
Wait. Let's have Hayden start on this one. You get some of it.
I think I have I got the Warriors in 6 in this series. Ultimately, I feel like the Warriors have too much scoring, and their scoring offense is really going to be potent for the versus the Lakers. I don't feel like the Lakers have enough perimeter defenders to guard Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, and their offensive attack. During the regular season, the Warriors averaged almost 120 a game. Versus they continued that streak versus the Sacramento Kings. They were firing on all cylinders. Steph put up a 50-point in Game 7 versus Sacramento Kings. I do not believe that. I mean, although they have LeBron James, the Lakers, I do not believe besides LeBron they have that player who could just get hot from behind the arc and just chuck up threes and really change the trajectory of the game quite like Golden State does. So I feel like in this series, Golden State.
Yeah, Reeves or Hachimura, who's been great, or D'Lo.
I mean,
D'Lo
not
had a
quite like
great game
Steph-
finally.
Not
Dogs.
quite like Steph Curry. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
Dogs. The word here is attrition. Because Steph had to drop 50, what does that mean for him in the next year? Like you gotta look how hard he had to work to put the Kings away. De'Aaron Fox is like a season away from proving that he's that dude.
Well, Sabonis.
Oh,
too.
he is.
They're
Is
a
that
year
dude.
away from
Fox
being
is
a
that dude.
contender.
Fox proved this year he's that dude, especially in the fourth quarter. He's
Come
my
on.
most
Well,
fun fourth
imagine
quarter
what-
player in the league.
Okay, we're going to this King series. I
we're
guess.
talking about Sacramento. Where was Sacramento last year? And
Oh,
the
yeah.
year
They had a
before?
great
Like-
year. They had a great year, and they pushed
let's
the
be-
Warriors to the brink. Congrats to the Kings.
Let's let's talk about how serious the Sacramento season was. Like they were the last time the Warriors played a game 7 was against that Houston team. Like that was the
Yeah.
last time they played a
Yeah,
game
in the
7.
conference finals.
But you also
The
got to
last
look at this
team-
isn't the same Warriors team as it was in years past. Like, this is
Exactly.
completely
The last
different
time to beat this type of Warriors team, let me rephrase it. The last time a Western Conference team beat the Warriors was the 2014 champion Spurs. That was the last team to beat them in a series. Like this Kings team played their fucking asses off. Now imagine if somebody other than Harrison Barnes had taken that 3 and then
Gotcha.
in game 4.
That was a good
Like-
look, though.
Is Halliburton
Yeah,
over
but it's
there?
Harrison
Is that
Barnes.
where Halliburton
No,
is?
Halliburton's with the
Halbert,
Pacers.
yeah, he's
With the
gone.
Pacers.
Davion Mitchell is the one they kept instead of
They should have
Halliburton.
kept- Listen,
No, it was Fox that kept it set.
Oh yeah, they kept
Like,
Fox. They got some bonus for Halliburton, but it was
Yeah,
Fox. and
Sabonis is a
They
big
could have.
time
They
player.
could have moved. They could have moved
Yeah.
Davion, but yeah.
Yeah,
they
it's
should have
fucking
kept.
never- Look, this Kings team's going to be good. They're Keegan Murray's is like 19. Eventually they'll figure out who an actual power forward is. That Sabonis, will remember how to shoot. That was like
Yeah,
weird.
that was weird. Looney got in his
And
head.
like, I think he just got his ass kicked. Like literally got his ass kicked too much that he was afraid to get beat up. And then Kevin Looney turned into Moses Malone for
3
a
games.
series.
Yeah.
wild.
He averaged like 18 rebounds a game. That's like insane. Like you can't come back. But no, this good for this Kings team. But this fucking Warriors team, like Steph said, fuck all of you. You're not gonna stop me. Like
Yeah.
the Warriors are gonna win this series. Like if we're talking about like 6 months ago, LeBron, it's a different story. But he can't move. Like
Yo, if
he's
we were talking about
he-
last year's Warriors, I would have been all in for this, right? Because last year the Lakers didn't have a bench. The Lakers actually have a bench this year.
yeah,
like,
but they
Well,
they don't
that's
have
Point
the,
at the deadline being aggressive for once.
yeah, but they don't
For
have the
once.
wings and they don't have the no.
They don't have the wings. They don't have
And
the
you don't
wings.
know how old like AD and LeBron are gonna look. Like LeBron looks old like every other game. And
Hey.
maybe they'll play more Mo Bamba, but like
They're gonna
These
need a
Lakers-
lot. They're gonna need their role players to step up.
They're going to need their role players to step up.
Huge.
Listen,
And they're gonna have
Like-
Austin Reeves play like he did last
Yeah,
year.
Austin, Rio Hachimura, D'Lo finally had a good game. His offense was finally there. Like,
I need
in the closeout
Vanderbilt
game,
to
they
play
need
like
that.
Vanderbilt
Yeah.
from last year.
yeah, like they need D'Lo to play
D'Lo's
like he
gonna
played
get
last year.
cooked.
Yeah, he
like,
will.
who's he gonna guard? Like that's the thing. Like who's gonna guard who? Are you gonna put
You put
Vanderbilt
D'Lo on Clay.
And who else?
Clay's
who else
just
they
gonna
got?
shoot over.
Vanderbilt on like Steph. I don't know.
Who's
Like,
guarding
who else they
Wiggins?
got?
You're gonna have LeBron guard Wiggins?
Who else
maybe.
they got? They picked up
Maybe.
a shooter.
Well, no, Reeves would guard Wiggins. If they
No,
play
who's the
small
shooter?
ball,
Who's the shooter they picked up from
Beasley.
Beasley?
Malik
Malik Beasley.
yeah.
There's still a Matt
But, like-
Ryan in the Lakers.
Okay.
No,
But-
Matt
but
Ryan
who's
got cut after he hit that a couple weeks after he hit that the buzzer beater. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't believe Matt Ryan's. I remember him playing at Duke.
Yeah.
That shit.
they went from like DoorDash driver to being a hero for a regular season game for the Lakers, and then he got like
Oh,
cut,
classic
2
old
weeks
Kirk
later.
Cousins story. I mean, Kurt Warner story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but like no, this Warriors team is they're gonna lose to the Nuggets in the next round.
So you don't really see this being that competitive of a series at all.
No,
I mean, it
think
might be
Warriors win
competitive.
this 5-6.
I think it's going to be competitive, but I think just seeing what the Warriors just did to Sacramento to prove that they are still have championship DNA in their blood. I
Mhm.
think.
I mean,
think
it's
they'll
hard.
get
It's
past the
hard for me to
Lakers.
compare this Lakers team versus the Warriors because I don't feel like the Lakers can score as much as the Warriors. Like I just feel like it's a little bit. They don't quite have the shooters like the Warriors do.
Well, nobody.
Like if this is going to be a track meet, I feel like the Warriors are more equipped to play. the
Lakers
title
in 7.
Lakers.
Like,
Lakers in 7.
like my pick is Warriors in 7, but it's
So I have
just
the Warriors in 6.
yeah, I was just
Warriors in 6 as
I
well.
just think the offense I think the offensive Warriors is going to be too much for the Lakers defense at
Yeah,
some
no, I
point.
agree with you.
And Steph's going to do
That
something
being said,
insane again.
let's say LeBron James takes the game over. Like he's one of those guys. Like LeBron could completely take the series over.
Yeah, and he
Dog,
can.
Yeah,
If
and
Draymond
we've seen it
says
before.
something to him,
But like,
And if Draymond gets himself
And
suspended,
it's
then
hard
that's a
for
whole
me to
other
bet
story.
against LeBron James in the playoffs.
We
It
not
really
gonna-
is. It's very
We're
hard.
not going
Yeah,
to
but we're not-
didn't have 6 blocks last series either. Like in
He
one of
also
those
played-
games.
Yeah.
Like
He didn't
LeBron
score much,
also,
but he had blocks. His defense
he's
is still
hurt
there.
and he looked old. Like if he
Yeah,
didn't,
he did.
if he,
He looked
didn't look
tired.
old and like hurt in that last series, yeah. But like every other game, he was garbage.
Hey, leave Paper Mache Davis alone.
Not
Like,
Davis,
no,
I'm talking about
80
LeBron.
was solid on both ends of the floor. I know he wasn't like
AD is like
dominating.
a walking,
like,
AD is like a walking ambulance. He's
But yeah,
sort of
When
but
that
AD
boy,
can-
superhero.
when
get
that boy hit
hurt.
the ground, when
There's
that boy hit the
times-
ground, just get ready to put him on IR.
Yeah,
Just-
there's times where AD was like in like he would just be like a shadow, like he just wasn't around. He would just
Wait,
vanish.
when he wants to take over a game, though, AD.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And that's
phenomenal.
but that's the
Well,
thing.
that's
They need that version of AD this whole series against the Warriors. He can't
if
like in the
AD wants
Grizzlies.
to be a beast, like,
like-
he's a beast.
Like he was great defensively, but then he had to let like everyone else offensively pave the way in that Grizzly series. Like he's gonna have to be the two-way player we know of AD, where he can drop 25, get you 18 rebounds, 5 blocks, do what he can do. Like he's gonna need to be that AD. He can't be like, oh, I'm gonna cruise to 14, 15, and 4, like against this Warriors team that anyone on that starting lineup can drop
Yeah,
30
he has
at
to
any
be
given
putting
moment.
up 20-20s at
Yeah.
least.
At least
And that's why, look, you know what? It'd be a really interesting wrinkle would be to see some AD Mobamba minutes together.
yeah.
Uh,
Mobamba
because that's a
is
lot of
healthy, right?
fucking
Did he play? Did he play in the Grizzlies series at all? I know he got.
It would have been a good series for him to get his feet wet.
Yeah,
because,
I'm gonna
like,
look right now. He should.
He
Be
probably
back
played
by
in
this
game
series.
6.
What they got?
If he's
what
not,
they
if you're
got
not
AD
playing when you're winning by 40, you're just done.
They got
I
AD
had
playing. They got him playing center.
He has questionable for this upcoming game.
No, I'm saying what they got him playing center.
Oh, Mobamba, yeah.
Mobamba's a
No,
the center.
AD.
80 he does both. They have him either at power forward or center, depending on what lineup they're running at.
They need what the Lakers need is a Mitchell Robinson or like a Jared Allen, someone who can solidify the center position for them, so AD can play at 4. Because AD is just being a bitch right now because he can't play the 5. He has to play the 5. He can't play the 4 like he wants to.
It's Mobamba. It's Mobamba time.
Yeah, Mobamba has to step up. Yeah, Mobamba time. I think he's questionable for game 1. Hopefully, he'll play in this series.
He's
I
not
think
going to make an impact with this
I-
series. He's,
I got
I think he'd be there,
hope.
There we go. Yeah, that's what the Lakers fans would say after he like throws down a nasty dunk or something if he plays this series. But we'll see what the Lakers do.
So
I let the crowd say nigga one time, just once.
So I think that so I also believe the Warriors are going to win this series in 6. It seems 4 out of 5 of us say that. Bars, you're the one person who believes in the Lakers. Can you give us the other side?
Oh well.
Why do you think
because
the Lakers are going to beat them?
one, I got $100 on that game, or $100 on the Lakers making it to the conference finals. That's one.
where's
So
the
I got to double down on that.
Okay,
And I gotta double down on
on Vegas odds, like it. Keep going.
And honestly, I'm just gonna look at the facts, right? LeBron getting old, Steph getting old too. Game 6 Clay was not around for game 6. Draymond, like Draymond is not the heart and soul of the team, but he is a defensive anchor. So if he's gonna get ejected next series, at least one of those games, give it to LeBron, like legitimately. And like LeBron is just gonna play his heart out. Yeah, he may not score 30 every night, and he may not give you 40, Dylan Brooks, but he's gonna give you at least 40 points. Like us, like 25 from him, and then like the rest assisted. You feel me? Like
He's
if
not
they
that
want
guy
to stop, if they want to stop the Lakers, they're gonna have to stop LeBron's assist game. They're gonna have to make him turn that ball over. They're gonna have to put AD on an island and then make him uncomfortable. They're gonna have to make the bench play. But if they make the bench play, D'Lo will come alive.
Why? Why do you believe that?
Why do I believe that? Because they destroyed the Grizzlies in that last game by 40 fucking points. And LeBron and AD were non-existent basically that game.
Yeah, but
D'Lo
like,
took it all over.
listen, if you lose an elimination game by 40, like it doesn't matter who's playing. You lost the game by like that's the most embarrassing shit you could possibly have. Like, granted, we talked about this, and I think everyone really understood that this was like the worst possible matchup for Memphis because they just didn't have the size. But like
We
you
said
can't
that
be
all throughout
you
the
can't be
podcast.
like a thug team and then get walled by 40 at home. That's literally Phoenix shit.
Even
That
worse
was
than
bad.
Phoenix.
I just love how everyone was joking with Dylan Brooks and saying LeBron was like old, and then everyone guaranteeing, you know, like, oh, like, you know, it was like, oh, LeBron has to give me 40 for me to have respect. Then they lose by 40, and everyone's like, well, Dylan Brooks, here's your 40. Like, I just found that.
But like we've been talking about
hilarious.
Dylan Brooks being dog shit for years.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to be the Draymond of the guard position. And,
To be fair,
and he's,
Dylan,
the thing
Dylan
is,
Brooks
people respect
averaged 26
Draymond.
points last year.
Like, Dylan
What?
Brooks is
He
a
sucks.
solid guy, but like at times,
Yeah, we're
but
playing
this year,
football.
But this year in that Lakers series, they were literally giving him the Russell Westbrook treatment from the 3-point line. And when you get that treatment, you know no one has respect for you.
Which they're right. He sucks.
And he was just awful. He cost the Grizzlies potentially that series
He
because
was
they probably
building
should have gone
houses.
to
He was
Luke.
building houses.
Yeah, they should have probably gone to Luke Kennard earlier.
Well,
And
Kennard got hurt.
and then Kennard got hurt. But I'm saying earlier in the season before his injury, if they went to him early instead of trying to rely on Dylan Brooks to be the trash talker defensive guy and added the offensive game of Luke Kennard, I think they could have had a little bit of a better fight.
All right.
And
Yo,
maybe
Kennard
maybe
fits that
this is a
system really
stretch.
well. Kennard
Maybe
fits
this
that
is a
system
stretch.
really well.
But what would you guys think of James Harden to the Grizzlies?
James Harden to the Grizzlies?
I would respect
Big
it.
stretch. Big
But,
stretch.
yo, to be
I would
honest, let me
respect
just let y'all know something real quick.
That
James
would be such a
Harden
choke
is
team.
not that guy.
Did you
Shame
look at my
for being-
chat?
Wait.
Matt, did you
Hold
look at my
on.
chat?
James
Yeah, I
Harden
saw
versus
the
Bars,
game
Joe
itself.
Brooks.
Bars,
Bro, that'd be pretty
that
good.
game just went final, so we can talk about it in a second because you're trashing James Harden.
Dude,
And he
James Harden
just
put up a
was
45.
unbelievable
Let's
tonight.
get
But
the,
you know what's
um,
crazy?
I
You
need
know
the
what's
Hold on,
crazy?
hold on.
timestamp for that.
Wait.
What?
Let's be clear about something. This is game one.
It's game one, yes, but
I don't give a shit about game one, James Harden. I give a
who
shit
would've-
about game 6, game
Well,
Harden.
yes, we all do, but
Yeah, but
who
when you
would've
get
thought-
Embiid back, imagine him and
Yeah,
Embiid.
but
that's
who would have
I'm
thought
looking
This
to
is why-
close out James
game
Harden.
one
Where
of
you
this
at, buddy?
series with Embiid down, who would have thought the 76ers would be in Boston today? And they did. And I understand Harden had a 45 piece, and I understand Boston had a critical turnover down the stretch and handed the 76ers this win tonight.
Wait, when did Embiid
But-
go down?
It shouldn't have been close.
Embiid's been out. He's out.
Embiid's been out since the
Oh, wait,
Brooklyn
this is a really
series.
interesting point. Now we're talking about the Sixers.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Do you think they'd rather have had him thrown out in game 3 or get hurt? Like his ass should have been thrown out for game 3.
Oh, game
Like,
3?
yeah,
For
like
Embiid?
you-
Yeah, I agree.
you
It
flip-
Yeah,
should-
no, I agree with you on that.
you
I agree.
flip-flop the call on that. I
You
say
flip the players on that, and Nick Claxton's ass is
Yeah,
thrown out.
well, that too. But I say you flip the call that we got later, where we got the BS makeup James Harden call to the Embiid kick. I would say you kick Embiid out of game 3. You let Harden in because Harden's, I feel, wasn't intentional, and we've seen him do that move often where he does that shoulder. I would have called an offensive foul, but I wouldn't have ejected him from the game. Embiid was clearly aiming for something. He missed and he kicked him, but he
You guys
kicked him
want to hear a
still.
fun fact about
So-
James Harden? You know he's like third in NBA history in threes. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, he's climbing up the charts. He's
Yeah, he's like third. in
Okay.
Very
NBA.
sneaky.
Like-
yeah.
And still, I
yeah.
still don't. Look, I have zero trust in James Harden in big games like closing series. I don't trust Doc Rivers.
I also not really.
So like
Oh,
if
Doc
Harden
Rivers
went
is the
to
most overrated coach in the history of the NBA. Let me
Yeah,
make
if
a point on
Doc
that.
if fucking James Harden went to Memphis, I don't know.
It'd be interesting, but I think we all see it, and I think James knows now. He's not Rockets Harden anymore. He has to pick his spots. He picked a spot tonight in a big game. He had to pick up for Embiid, being out.
It's
with his knee sprain.
I have to say, watching I was watching all the games with my dad for the Nets, because he's a big Nets fan. The first couple games, he couldn't get to the rim. Like he can't get to the rim anymore.
No.
Like it's like jarring to watch him. Like
Tonight he had a couple nice moves, and still, to me, it was weird because I was joking with a buddy about this, but it was his former teammate Russell Westbrook. We saw the Clipper series. He had a couple of nice moves and getting to the basket, and he couldn't finish like Harden. Westbrook was the same thing. He would use his athleticism, and time again, we would see him do like the quick flick layup or like slow down and be able to flick it. And then now, I don't know if it's age, he's like didn't know how to slow down, so you would just fire it and just chuck it off the side of the rim. And then we see Harden do that too. It's like weird that these guys, after all these years of doing these same moves, are now like can't really finish as well as they used to.
Well,
But-
it's because his legs aren't there. Like it's obvious he's lost a step.
Yeah, exactly. And tonight he was great. He was
Let's give
great,
credit to
and
the
we
guys
gotta see,
defending them.
We got to
Give
see what he
credit to the
does
guys
later.
defending them.
Yeah,
So-
45. You didn't do a good job.
No, I mean like getting them to adjust that shot. You know what I'm saying? Getting them.
Yeah, like closing
give-
out and making it
Give
tougher.
credit to these guys.
Back in the
like,
day, he would do the 3 dribble crossover, and then the guy would stop defending once he got beat.
Yep. Fucking that Harden team, like when those Houston teams were going off.
Yeah. Or the
I'm
step
happy
back,
Donovan
where
Walker.
they would try to close out, but then they would just realize that it was a lost cause, so they would just stop putting their hands up, and he would just drill.
Look, I'm happy Manu's last career block was on that Harden.
That is true.
Mhm.
That was a great play.
So focusing on this series right now, the Celtics and the Sixers. At this time, the Sixers are up 1-0. And as mentioned, game 1 without Joel Embiid, and it looks like he will be out for game 2 as well. James Harden
Is that
takes over.
confirmed?
There's optimism that he will play, but it's not confirmed yet.
He's got a grade 1
I would say-
LCL. He's got
I
a
think
grade
they're
1
gonna sit him.
LCL.
Just for
If they
me
win that-
personally, I think this is the Sixers year. I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win this series, and I think they're gonna go to the finals this year.
I think this is the Sixers year too, because I lived in Massachusetts. I hate Boston sports, all Boston sports, period. So I'm never gonna vote for the Celtics, but I'm not solid on James wishy-washy Harden either. Like if there's anything I know for James Harden, it's losing in the finals, choking in like every conference finals he's appeared in. Like that's what I know about James Harden. But I got $50 on each game that they win, so I got to double down on Philly.
Well,
know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
you think Jason Tatum's ready to take that next step? To really
Hell
prove himself
no,
in
hell
this?
no,
I don't think
hell
so
no.
either. I
Jason
don't think
Tatum's
he
not
is.
that guy.
I don't
Jason
think he's
Tatum is
quite
not
there
that
yet.
guy.
Look, it's irrelevant which one of them loses to Denver in the finals.
Oh
But I
my
think
God.
I think it would be funner if like Embiid, like, look, I don't think the Sixers are going to win the series. Although Joe Mazzulla has not been great at coaching, I think they're just more talented than the Sixers.
Sixers and 6.
No, I look, if you stole game 1, this is similar to what we were talking about, Jimmy. I think you sit Embiid till game 3.
Yeah,
Because he's going to change the whole,
you
the
might
whole
as
thing.
well.
Yeah, you might as
Might as
well.
well.
He's got a
And
he got a
if
grade 1
game 2
LCL.
starts going
I'm
bad, you
not
pull
pulling
Harden
nothing.
early.
Yeah, I'm not pushing anything. You just stole game 1. I'm not pushing anything special that he had a severe knee sprain than what was reported.
Because you're not going to win
Rest
with
of-
the series without him.
No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, but the
You
fact
can't
they got
expect
game 1
45
without
from Harden.
Embiid is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's massive.
Because
That's what I'm
let's say
saying. You
Embiid
just use what
returns
Harden
for
did
like
tonight.
game 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like
Give
you got
credit to the rest of
1
those
or 2
players.
out with
Maxey,
Embiid.
you know,
Yeah,
Harden.
Maxey showed up. Maxey was someone that needed to show up tonight. He showed up. It's just, Embiid's the key to this series. If
Who's 44? Who's 44?
that Paul
Yeah.
Reed,
Is it Paul Reed?
Who?
Paul Reed,
Paul Reed.
Yeah, whoever he is, he needs
had-
to step up because
he had
he
a
got his
double
shit
double tonight.
snuffed.
He had 10,
got his shit
13,
snuffed.
10,
Okay,
13,
but like Paul Reed
and a
ain't that
block
good.
tonight.
So like Paul
Yeah,
Reed ain't that
block.
good, but he's a step up from DeAndre
Yeah.
Jordan.
He had a block.
Paul Reed had 10, 13, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block tonight.
That block was to make up for the one that he got punched. Like that's all I'm saying. He needed
Maxey
that
showed
kid
up
back.
tonight, 26, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 steals, including the crucial one that kind of iced the game off a turnover. And then we said Harden, 45 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 17 of 30 from the floor. I mean, 7 for 14 from 3. I mean, he was on one tonight. So
Let's go back real quick. I just forgot to touch on every series. We also have to put an account for these turnovers because every team has been turnover happy. I'm not gonna say here in front.
it's
Miami got really turnover happy.
Boston lost the game
last
because
two
of a
games.
turnover today. You can make the argument. Let's see. I'm gonna try to see if I can find the turnover totals from
Oh.
this game.
I think Boston's better.
And I don't trust Boston because they're choke artists. There's
No,
choke
you
artists when
can't
Doc
compare
was there.
Boston as choke artists to fucking James Harden and Doc Rivers.
Yo, James Harden, Doc Rivers is about to take his old team out because he choked over there and he gonna choke them and then he gonna choke right after this. So
So the different arguments I've heard, it's a battle of rosters, it's a battle of superstitions. We have Doc Rivers, who has underperformed.
I mean, Doc
having the
Rivers is under the
Celtics
most
here.
pressure out of any coach in the playoffs, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
if Doc Rivers doesn't get out of the second
He doesn't
round,
get out of that second round, he's gone after
I
this
think
year.
he's done this year.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
retiring
I
that
agree
nigga out
with
the
that.
league.
I think he's done.
Well, like it depends. Like if Joel plays one game, they're not going to blame Doc Rivers.
Really? He
No,
hasn't
no,
got
no,
that
no, no.
second
I
round
would.
in his-
If you have
His
Joel
tenure is
Embiid and
ridiculous.
still don't come out of the second round, and this is like Joel playing well, and they still don't get out of the second round.
Which, to be fair, Joel has not played well in the
No.
in the playoffs.
No, he's 1-8
Like,
against
historically.
Boston alone. Or
Yeah.
Like he,
is he 1-8 in total, or is it 1-8 against Boston? I'm trying to remember. I gotta look, but I know
They're
for
always
sure
gonna blame the
Boston.
coach.
He's not great against.
Don't forget that.
but he
They
wasn't
always
great
gonna
in
blame the
Toronto,
coach.
and he wasn't like he's not a great for like he's not like he's much better in the regular season than he is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean but like yeah, it's a injury thing that they did. Doc could possibly hold his hat on. But I mean, this is a weird fucking Sixers team anyway.
But at least, despite that, we at least think that maybe that they could take this over, at least knock out the Celtics because of, as mentioned, the coaching hasn't been as good as maybe they've hoped. Seen this team, the Celtics team especially, well, a lot of games late. But we still think, regardless, it's Joel Embiid. He's the person who's going to decide the series ultimately.
The only thing that could change this, right, is if he find out he didn't win MVP. Then he go.
Right, find out tomorrow.
So like,
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. If he's the
Joel
MVP.
Embiid's the MVP this year.
He's gonna be the MVP.
oh, so then if he's the MVP this year, he's going to speed up his process. He's going to play the game, and then like they just might actually make it to the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if they play the Knicks, they'll probably go to the finals. But I don't know if they'll be able to beat the Heat.
They won't beat the Heat.
Yeah, so then the Heat are going to lose to Denver.
I think you guys are a little.
What
too
is
high on
this?
the Heat,
Whoa.
to be honest.
Denver looked.
What was
real
that,
good this
Hayden?
year.
I
but
think
they gonna
everyone's a
get
little
hurt.
too high in the Heat.
Whoa.
I think these teams are better than the Heat. Both the Celtics and the Sixers.
I don't think we've ever seen a full fuck you Jimmy series, and I think that's going to be pretty fucking awesome. And I kind of want to see a full fuck you Jimmy series. He's going to be talking so much shit. I think he's a dunk on a beat, and it's going to be like the highlight of his career.
Yo, listen, remember, they're former teammates. This is somewhat of a grudge match. If they get there.
It's going to be a whole fuck you
Yeah,
series.
we would have to.
Yeah, because-
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
because-
But you
yeah.
were saying,
If I was gonna say, people forget too, there was a moment where Jimmy Butler, after I think he played in Philly and he had a great game, he was walking out of the tunnel and he said, "Y'all signed Tobias Harris over me." And
Yeah.
it became like a viral moment.
And I mean, I would have never.
If they
chosen
make it
Tobias
there,
Harris over
if they
Jimmy.
make it there, Butler definitely is gonna have a grudge.
yeah. So I think once we check in next week with this and see how that series goes, it'll be a really telling of where things will go. But it's going to be very interesting for sure. And both franchises have a lot to prove, especially over these past couple of years. And we'll see what direction they are going to go. So the final series discussed for now, at this moment, the Phoenix Suns are playing the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are up 1-0. That's going to change by the time this recording is released. But at this moment, Nuggets are up. Very interesting series. We have the number 1 seeded Nuggets with a lot to prove. They finally have everybody they need, and whether it's Porter Jr., Jokic, a healthy Jamal Murray, and a lot of momentum on their side. We have the Suns. They're healthy at this moment with their big 4 and Ayton, KD, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. Again, they're trying to get to the promised land again, especially when you have KD healthy. That's the biggest blessing they can have. But tell me, guys, this series is very, very interesting. Where do we see it going right now?
Nuggets at 6.
I got
And-
the I got the
and you're
Nuggets
also-
at 7.
Nuggets is 6,
I wanna
Nuggets
be-
is 7.
I have the Suns in 6.
Oh, listen, I will say this, right? If KD don't win, retire.
No,
No.
hold up.
No.
no, no.
I don't agree with you.
No, hold up.
No,
Let's be
he
clear.
gave all his chips in. He gave all his
This
chips
is
in
the-
to join
this
the
is
team
the-
with no bench.
This
Well,
is the
they have an
Suns.
offseason if they
Although I will
come up
say
short
this
with the
KD
new owner.
wants to win another one. This year is as wide open as
with
it
the
gets.
new owner, and he has a bunch
Yeah,
of years
hold
left
on,
on
but
his
like,
contract. It might be
this
it
is-
for
this-
Paul. It might be
Yeah,
done
it's
for
probably
Chris
it.
Paul.
Sit that
No,
man
no,
down.
no.
Listen,
Next year is
they-
it for both for this iteration of the Suns is next year. Like
They
this year is
gave up-
their this
Yeah,
year is
guys.
their mulligan year because let's be clear, Kawhi and Paul George are healthy. They don't win. The Suns don't win that series.
Probably not. I agree.
Oh, okay.
One of them is Kawhi's healthy. I don't know if they win that series either.
I think it would have gone to 7 with Kawhi healthy. I
Yeah.
100% agree with that. I think
Like
it would have been.
this
a
is their
tough
mulligan
battle.
year, and like the thing is, Denver's so much deeper, and like you and
Oh,
like,
Denver is much deeper than Phoenix.
Yeah, like
And like they beat them without a good Jokic game. And I don't think you guys realize, but like Michael Porter Jr. was passing up fast break threes
Yeah.
with a man in his face to pass the ball. Like he's growing up. Like, like
Yeah,
that shit's like maybe he's gonna learn something because like the best version of Michael Porter Jr. is KD. I mean, he's probably never gonna get there because he's basically like a 7-foot tall Clay.
Yeah.
But like this Nuggets team, we haven't seen this team since the bubble.
Sure.
Like-
Jamal Murray's playing out of his mind too. A lot
Jamal
of
Murray's
people
back,
getting into that.
going nuts.
He's back. Like playoff Murray's there. We haven't seen this version of Murray all regular season, so
And
it's
don't
great to see
forget,
him in the
he
postseason.
dropped 50 the last time he played.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's playoff Murray. He's right back to where he was in the bubble.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Phoenix has an answer for that. And we didn't get a great like their defense. They did a good job on defense. Like, even though Booker and Durant went off, like Jokic did a good job of hedging up and then getting back. Like they did a good rotation. Like, and
No.
he wasn't even doing that much for them to win that game. So like we haven't gotten that Jokic.
The signature
inevitable
Jokic game.
signature
Yeah.
This is if the Suns
This is
don't
why I
win.
have it.
If the Suns don't win, it's because they don't have Cam Johnson and they don't have
Bridges. Yep, you're right.
They don't got
Mikal
Bridges.
Yep.
they
This
don't
is
have
this is a
Bridges.
year on the fly. Like it doesn't matter for them. They'll
Yeah.
be they're going to be favorites next year.
If,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
anything, I'm getting rid of Chris Paul. I'm bringing back Cam Johnson.
You can't
Like
do either.
Is Cam a free agent or is he still under contract?
No, he's still under contract. I think.
I think, right? He has like a year.
Also, you
I'm
can't do
doing
that
so-
because there's rules against signing a player 1 year after you trade them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can't get him anyway. That's why like the Nets couldn't bring back Josh out or Jared out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was surprising to me that Phoenix didn't give up more of a fight than I thought in game 1. I know game 1's a field game.
I mean, it's just game one. It's kind of
I'm interested to see what definitely happens tonight. Like just to see what they come up with, because like, they have to deal with the Nuggets who have also a lot of firepower. Like you guys said, their Suns bench is lacking. The Nuggets are deep. They have a bunch of guys they trust
They
and
have
rely
chemistry.
on. They have chemistry. Jamal
Continuity.
Murray's playing out of his mind.
I think Mike Malone's another coach that's got to get over.
Yeah. Well, Malone is Malone. I like Malone a lot. It's just like if they need to have success here too. But to me, like I just think the Suns are gonna just use their experience again to beat the Nuggets. But
What experience?
like I was saying, like it's just not like you have Durant who's been big moments. You have like Booker. all
But
those
on the
guys.
other side, you have Jeff Green. Jeff Green's been in the league for like 40 years. I'm pretty sure he's been a Didn't he?
Let's
Wasn't he
talk-
on the Cleveland team that won?
Who? Sorry, what
Jeff Green.
was he on?
Was he on the 16 team or is he just on the 17-18s?
I think he was on the 7. He might have been just after.
Okay, so it's not like he, we could get a signature Jeff Green game where he goes off for like 15.
Oh yeah, he didn't. I don't think did he win on that team?
But
I'm
like he's
trying to
been
think.
around, so
I'm
it's not
over
like
it.
they don't have
Yeah,
experience.
like he's been like
Listen,
yeah.
listen.
I
Let's
think
talk
it's,
about
I
their
think
game.
it's the continuity of the Nuggets is going to be able to this year overwhelm the just stupid firepower that the
But that's
Phoenix
the
has.
thing. It's like I'm interested to see how the rest of the series goes because like we all know Booker, especially this playoffs, has been nights where he's just on fire, and
But
the
a lot
Nuggets
of-
have
but,
really
like,
good defense on him.
If Murray
Exactly,
matches
keep
him,
on
it's
happening.
irrelevant.
Yeah, that
Listen.
thing. Like you need all the offensive firepower to happen. You need Ayton to stop being lazy. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. That it blew my mind what happened. But he
DeAndre
was
Ayton was
just,
awful
yeah,
in,
he was just
Whoa,
standing on the
he's not-
baseline during a tip like rebound where like KD had to fight Jokic to get the rebound, and Ayton's just standing there for like 3 of the tips, just standing on the baseline, and then he finally runs over to try to like help get the
They
rebound.
just signed and trade him with fucking.
They
Miles
should.
I'm
Turner.
hurting DeAndre Ayton to the Mavs is a possibility.
Yeah, they're looking like he might be gone.
He's probably
I
gone.
think he's like he should be a difference maker in this series because he has to battle against Jokic, and you think he would show up, but he hasn't. I know it's only one game, but like going forward, we have to see how he shows up. Like I think Ain's a game changer here. Chris Paul is just too old. Murray's kind of just he's killing it right
Going
now.
into his own.
So you need Chris Paul to have like 15 plus. You need Booker and KD to have like 30, and you need Aiden to have at least near 20 to combat what the Nuggets can do. So like I think they can do it, but it's going to be a really tough battle. And I don't know. I think the Nuggets could also win. I think the series can go either way, but I think the Suns are just going to be able to sneak out of that series. But it's going to be interesting.
I don't want to see the Warriors play in the finals again. And all right.
Yeah, but so with all this confidence you have in this team, Bach, do you really feel like this Nuggets team, they can really go over the hump at this time? Like this is their moment, put up or shut up, especially with the health factors and it going in their advantage.
Yeah, I look. I said it the last time. I had them losing to Milwaukee because I think they have the best offensive player outside. It's basically Steph and Jokic are like the single best player where just having them put your baseline of offense at really, really good. And I forgot how good Jamal Murray was in the bubble. I always believe in Michael Porter Jr. I just have a rational belief in him. I just think I think this is they have the continuity. It's I think the Warriors wiped him out last year, but that was like Jokic and like the four of us playing.
Did you forget how good how could you forget how good Jamal Murray was?
Because
scored
Jamal Murray
50.
has
Because he's barely played.
He
Yeah.
hasn't played in the
Okay.
playoffs since the bubble.
So now
there was no guarantee that he was going to do it. Like
This
when
goes into
there was like
Yeah.
a stat somebody was talking about of like the Kentucky guards from like the Kentucky players for the last 5 years or something, and it was like 5 All-Stars and like an MVP and a couple playoffs and like a Jamal Murray. Like he doesn't just have the accolades because he's been hurt for a while, but like he's I don't know. I trust this team. I think they're kind of deep enough. I still think like we're probably gonna have a good Jokic game. And I think there's probably one Michael Porter game where he goes for like 35 on like 10 to 15 shootings from threes with like one dribble and a rebound and one turnover. That's probably coming. I don't know when. But I think the deepest, they have the best player. That's why I have the irrational confidence.
like
I like it.
I'll agree with you on Michael Porter. He's a good player, great player. I was anticipating him when he first joined them, and then he got hurt or whatever. And that actually is going to lead into my next thing. I believe that for the last 3 years, the Nuggets have been the best team in the West. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've had the 2-time MVP in
They
Jokic.
were like the 6th seed last year.
They were the what?
They were like the 4th seed. Granted, it was still Jokic and like nobody else. But like,
Yeah. But with Jamal Murray, even with that, I still think they're the best team to come out the West. Like, they got youth and they got, like, I don't know, drive. Like, them boys just really want to play. Like, Jokic.
no, but that's
is
like
an
the crazy
animal.
thing. Like,
They also have Aaron Gordon too. Aaron Gordon's a good player.
Yeah,
They,
you know what I'm
like-
saying? Like,
Aaron Gordon's a
Like,
good player.
he was actually a
I
really
think
good
if they
addition
make it
for
to
them.
the-
He couldn't, like, pull it through for them, but he was a really good addition for them.
I think we're at some point this playoff run, we're gonna get a fuck you Jokic game where he decides, you know what, I'm actually better than all of you, and I'm gonna like show it. Like this was granted, I'm stealing this from the Bill Simmons thing when they were talking about this. Like some guys have that like outward dog in you, like Jimmy and Giannis, like you see it. Like Jokic will just come in, take your lunch, and go like chill in a corner. Like there's no like.
Then he'll
fucking
get your
Jokic.
brothers. Then he'll get his brothers on you too.
Look at it. Look,
Like we've never seen like an angry Jokic type of thing, except that one time I think it was Marcus Morris who he like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the brothers.
Like-
Yeah,
played
the
him
brothers
too.
got involved after too. Yeah.
yeah.
like I think we're gonna get that like a Jokic. It might come after Tuesday after Embiid wins the MVP, where he says like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna kill all of you now and prove that I should have won the MVP anyway.
Yeah,
Like-
and then he's gonna show Embiid how to really play when you get snubbed. That's like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, that would be a
We'll
lot
see.
of fun. It really would.
What I will say, real quick, Matt, let me cut you off. Last thing on the whole Nuggets thing. What I will say is, back down to my point, I'm gonna double down real quick. Yeah, they weren't the highest seed last year, but if they had Jamal Murray, where the fuck do you think they'd be? Like, you know what I'm
If
saying?
they
Like,
had Jamal and Michael Porter Jr.
exactly.
They didn't have
So
either of them.
you gotta
Yeah,
look
didn't
at that.
Michael Porter Jr. played like 9 games last year because
Yeah.
his back is
Because
made
he's
out of
back
hip
again.
shit.
Yeah.
Let's
He
pray.
didn't have either of them.
I don't care
Yeah.
who comes out the West. I really don't. I really don't give a shit. I just pray that Miami comes out the East. I will say this. Injury has sidelined the Nuggets for the past 3 years.
Yep.
This might be their year.
Well,
Yeah,
injuries are
I
like
agree with you on the
huge thing.
Nuggets this year. I think this is the year for them to take it.
Yeah, I believe that also the Nuggets have never won the West in their entire franchise's history since.
Nope.
This is
Maybe
also their
now's the
first.
time.
Not even with Melo. Not even with
This is
with
their
Big
first.
Shot
First thing
Billups.
about Melo with
You
George
can't
Karl,
you
they
can't
went to
you
the,
can't even
conference
blame the
finals.
Nuggets when the Melo years. Melo didn't really play defense, and he
Yeah,
had
Melo-
to go
Big
through-
Shot
he also had to
Billups.
go through like dynasties and
They had Big
Yeah,
Shot
yeah,
Billups.
those
stay high at
Lakers
one
and the
point.
Suns and all those tough
Spurs.
teams in the West, the Spurs. Like he didn't. He
Like
didn't
he
have a
came
shot.
in at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I mean, Allen Iverson came in like at the end of his career too. but, like,
that was a bad
Allen
move,
Iverson
though.
brought the
Yeah, they have
76ers to
never.
the finals
They have
by
never won
himself.
a. They've never won the
snuck
West.
a game from
Denver Nuggets.
Shaq and Kobe. So you got to
Like,
think about it. They
yeah.
had chances to win. The Nuggets better not end
they
up
had
turning
one
in.
year. Melo sucks.
Yeah. They had one
All
solid
the
year where they
time.
had a shot, and then I can't remember who they lost to, but like
Listen, we're not
It
going to talk
was,
about the
the
former
Lakers.
Knick
It was
alumni.
that
did they lose
09
to the
Lakers.
Lakers? Okay.
We're not
Yeah,
going to talk
the
about
09
former
Lakers
Knick
did, yeah.
alumni. What we will say is though, real shit. If the Nuggets do not fucking win, they're gonna end up turning into that perennial Grizzlies team. You know what I'm talking about? Marc Gasol,
Yeah,
Zach
Zach
Randolph. They always in the fucking
Tony
playoffs.
Allen. Yeah.
Always getting to the conference finals, never doing shit.
don't
Okay,
know.
but like it depends on who they lose to.
Yeah.
Like if they lose to Golden State and then Golden State goes on and wins it, it's because Steph has decided to turn into God mode again, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you." If it's
Hey.
because Clay and Booker average 48 for the next 4 games, like fuck
Yeah.
it.
Jamal
Like,
is
yeah,
him.
it
Jamal is
yeah.
him.
It really depends on the situation with the Nuggets, right? It's like depends on how,
It seems like
How they
the
go.
vibe I'm
Like, if
getting.
they
The
get, like,
only
blow
team.
up the next 4 games, that's a problem.
if KD and Booker are just like going off and there's nothing, like the Nuggets are doing everything they can, and that's the reason why they lose. You can't argue it. They lose to Steph and his greatness, and he has another 50 piece in a clinching
Yeah,
game.
if like another game 7 and they get
Yeah,
Steph
and they
decides,
lose.
"Fuck
It's
you."
like, okay, you lost to a dynasty. Like the Nuggets, I think will get some sort of juice. Now, if they get like reverse swept by Phoenix here, then everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, what the hell happened?"
Mhm.
Unless it was something incredible, like
somebody gets
but
hurt,
they
like
lose
if
in
Jokic
7,
gets hurt
yeah.
or something.
If they like lose in 7, then it's like, oh, and Booker has 50 in the closeout game. Then it's like, okay, you had a tough battle. Booker, it was Booker's him, and he just wanted
Durant
to get to the
Booker
conference
doesn't
final.
take over.
So like,
Yeah,
Durant,
yeah.
Durant could drop.
or Durant, or Durant has some magical game.
I think
yeah.
that for the Nuggets, the trap was the Timberwolves. Like
Yeah.
they get fucked around by this Timberwolves team,
Yeah.
and they bullied them.
Did it.
But
They
I
gave them
think
that
that
one
was
game they shouldn't have even given them. They shouldn't have even given them.
it. Doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
I think they're they're not. Especially it'd be very interesting if they did end up playing the Lakers. Like I think
Yeah.
they're gonna wipe.
Oh, I
'Cause-
would have. I think they would have destroyed them. I think their speed, their quickness, their transition. I think they would have destroyed the Lakers.
All
I
right,
don't, think they'd be,
gentlemen.
I don't think they would be a good matchup for the Warriors, though. To be honest with you, I don't.
The Nuggets
Denver.
Yeah, I don't.
tripping.
I think it'd be really fun. I would.
It
love
would be
to see
really
that
fun,
series.
but I
think that'd
don't.
be
I think
really
the
fun.
gonna go-
games would
it's
be
gonna go-
blowouts.
Yeah.
It's gonna go
I think
7. It's gonna
every
go
game would
7, and
be
the Nuggets
blowout.
gonna take it.
But it's gonna be it's gonna be like a non-defensive 7 games. It's gonna be like just all offense, no defense.
High
Like
scoring.
more
slugfest.
offense than the last.
125 to
when the-
132.
it's gonna be more offense than the Kings
Yeah,
Warriors,
Warriors,
because like
yeah.
the Kings are still a little streaky, they're still a little young.
Yeah.
They're like granted they had the highest they had the number 1 offense, but it's like a different type of thing with like
Yeah. Exactly.
Like their baseline is higher.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, gentlemen. This was everything and more. Great job covering these 4 series. We'll check back in a week. A week from tonight, we'll be back and we're dropping on Tuesday. And we will check in at the middle parts of all these series. So it'll be a lot of fun. So again, fresh faces, Hayden, Bars, Alex, thank you so much, gentlemen. And I'll see you next week. Let's watch some good basketball. And just a random last second thing, the Rangers have screwed their season up. Somebody should get fired. And what a joke. But we'll worry about that another day.
Does hockey season ever fucking end? Like, what the
It-
hell?
it's
Like,
always
yo,
It'll end soon, but playoff hockey is great hockey.
hockey,
Unless you're a
baseball,
Rangers
and
fan and
fucking
we're all
soccer.
miserable right now.
Listen, this is my gripe for years. They need to stagger it. It should not. You should not have the NHL and the NBA playoffs happening simultaneously. That's
I
fucking
agree.
stupid.
I agree.
That would be so much easier if they
You
did
put
that.
one of them like after the where it's currently in, because then it's like baseball kind of for that summer, and nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit about that like type of baseball. You put one of those playoffs there, probably hockey.
Yeah.
And then you fix it. Then it's year round and nobody has to overlap.
Listen, that or give me more basketball.
Sorry about the yawning, by the way. I was just
You're
tired.
Nah, you good, G. Listen, that or give me more basketball because
Well,
I
we're getting
just
more
watched the
basketball,
World
which is
Cup.
a problem.
Yeah.
I
Like-
just watched the World Cup, and now they're still playing soccer. I'm trying to figure it out where the downtime at.
Yeah, I need
I'll
football
let
to
you
be
guys
back.
know
I
off
need the
stream
Jets to
some
be
stuff.
back. I do.
Oh man, good stuff,
Listen,
gentlemen.
We're getting
I
too
gotta
much basketball.
decompress.
I need to yell about Joe Douglas. I do. I can't take it.
Oh man,
Listen,
so
I don't know why the Lions took that fucking running
Dude,
back.
the Lions
and
took
they got rid of
Why did
Swift.
we
guys
take
that
They got rid of
Josh?
Swift and
They got rid
They
of
gave him
Swift.
to. They gave him.
yeah, they
to
gave
Jack
the
Campbell
Eagles.
got
The Eagles are now
They
the
gave
Eagle
to the-
Bulldogs. They're just forming the Eagle. They're forming the Eagle Bulldogs. They're all Georgia
Who, the
people
Lions
or
wanna
Bama. It's not.
No.
No. No.
Yeah.
We should have fucking traded for Lamar Jackson.
Even though this is an NBA podcast, let's just talk about how well my Steelers did during the draft, picking up offensive line and picking up Darnell
The
Washington.
Jets,
Shore up
the
that
Jets,
offensive
Jets an
line.
okay draft. They drafted a good running back at a pit in the late rounds, so that actually could be a good pick.
No, wait, who you talking about? Darnell Washington?
No, Israel Abakanaba.
Yeah, the name I couldn't pronounce at all.
He's actually pretty decent if they
Listen.
develop him.
Listen, we got Joey Porter Jr. We got that nose tackle dude. We picked up O-line, 2 pieces for the O-line, boosting us up. We got that dude, her big brother. Listen,
No,
shit
Pittsburgh got a
looking
good draft.
solid.
You guys had a good draft for sure.
We got Allen Robinson. We actually got a number 1 and 2 receiver now because Claypool won it last year. Like, I don't know what they thought they was doing.
All right,
But-
we'll talk all about that another day, guys. So
We had a whole
we'll be
podcast
back-
going with draft reactions and basketball. We'll be all good.
All right, we'll see you next week with the NBA playoffs postseason.